ramping, I know you're going to do like drip, then dogs, then pigs. But I know that there was some concern about one, the tax with drip, but then also the 90% tax with dogs when they move from like the fiat on ramp to the user. And how's that going?
Well, that's going great. So we already know that we can do it. We already know that there's no issue with the tax when it comes to having a fiat on ramp, because we can whitelist specific contracts from the tax to ensure that the tax that is supposed to be applied is applied and no additional taxes are applied. But we have a meeting coming up next week just to talk about some of the details. So we already got approved. We know that the steps to get listed are easy for us. It's basically just adding a specific amount of capital to the B&B pool, which we already have for dogs, which we can do for pigs and drip very easily, and paying about $25,000 per listing, which is also something that we can handle easily. The meeting that I have is just to discuss some of the details, just so I have them from a communicator standpoint. So what their exact process is, if there's KYC involved for the user, when that KYC comes into play, whether it's something that always needs to be done or only needs to be done over a certain amount of capital, or maybe it doesn't need to be done at all and it's just treated as buying any other asset online. These are just the small details that I want to be able to ask the team. And I have this meeting with them coming up next week, and then it only takes 2 weeks, they say, from the point that the payment is made until the listing is live. So that's why I've been saying that I've been saying since last week that it should take about 3 weeks, because I have this meeting with them next week just to discuss the details, just so I can be a better communicator when we talk about how we're how people can utilize it, and also how we can add the API to our site. And then we'll make the payment next week, and then it should take about 2 weeks to implement. And the only reason why we're doing it in the order that we're doing it in and not all at once is because we're doing it in a decentralized way. So there are options, and there are options where we can basically have contracts established with them. And when I'm talking about contracts, I'm not talking about solidity contracts. I'm talking about like legal contracts, and where we have certain guaranteed commitments when it comes to their listing. But this would require centralization. This would require us establishing a company and hiring lawyers and having people be signers and all this stuff. Or we can go the decentralized route, but there's less guarantees in that sense. So to protect our own incentives, to protect our capital in a sense, we're doing it in a way where we pay to have one listed, it gets listed, and then we move on to the next one like that. So we're not giving some large lump sum and then just waiting for them to do all of the work. Because once it's added, there's no incentive for them to remove it. They're earning fees from having a token that people are onboarding through fiat. So once they've done the work, there's no incentive for them to remove that listing. So this is why I'm not worried about a guarantee from that perspective. I just don't want to give a ton of money up front, almost $100,000, and then wait for them to do the work and then have there be delays and all of this stuff. Having it done in a kind of step-by-step way ensures that there's a level of accountability there. There's an incentive for them to actually do the work so they can move on to the next one. And then once that work's done, then they have no incentive to remove it because they're making money off of it. So this is why we're doing it in this way. There's, a master plan behind everything. We never just wing anything. So it's everybody wants everything to move as fast as possible, and we do move things as fast as possible, but we never do anything reckless. Everything is measured, and we do that for a reason. And there's a reason why we've never lost investor capital. We've never had a major exploit. We've never had any kind of insider shenanigans. It's we've always been very, very careful about the moves that we make. And this is how we're always going to run things, because security is most important and managing risk is most important. And this is one of the reasons why I'm one of the top traders in the world. Like on Bybit, I am the #2 overall trader in the world. And if you look into it, their #1 isn't even an individual trader. I don't know what it is. When you look into it, and you start looking at their profile and all that, it says on there, this is not an individual trader. And some of their trades are hidden. And so it's, who knows, right? But at like officially the number 2 trader on Bybit out of 54 million traders on Bybit. And the reason for this, first and foremost, is because I take risk management and securing the bag more first and foremost, and more important than anything, more important than profit, more important than getting my place on the leaderboard or hitting big numbers or trading more capital. The risk management is number 1 always. I've always felt that way, and that's how I handle my DeFi projects as well. And that's why, maybe we don't move as fast as some other projects. I mean, you can compare us. We're moving, we're getting things done, right? But always with risk management and security being number 1. And that's the same with this fiat on-ramp situation.